a Saturday walk in the park. South Africa in cruise control mode made it look so easy. Just not enough runs on the board for England, who bow out with yet another loss. That's the end of Jos Buttler's captaincy career as well. This is how it panned out. Well, England won the toss, chose to bat but couldn't bat. 179 only, all out. 3 wickets each for Mulder and Marco Jansen, who really gave them those early breakthroughs. South Africa, in reply, did lose a couple of wickets early, but that didn't deter the likes of Klaasen and Rassie van der Dussen to stitch together a century partnership, and that was enough. Klaasen did get out in the end, but it was just a consolation for Al Rashid. South Africa win this match against England by 7 wickets and end up on top of Group B at the ICC Champions Trophy 2025. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. My name is Manish, and I'm joined by Murali Kartik and Zaheer Khan. Kartik, just not enough runs on the board. It was never really going to be enough.
It was never going to be a challenge, but the way, and also they look defeated and deflated. When you look at the body language of many of them, practically Jos Buttler was expressionless, and they did try by getting Jofra Archer to bowl his full quota. I, for one, thought that possibly somebody like Adil Rashid should have been brought on a touch earlier, given the number of runs they had, and once you've got 2, if you can get Heinrich Klaasen pretty early, then you could have tested them, given lack of Aiden Markram today. But still, things changed. We spoke about the two-paced nature of the surface. It was on view initially, but once the lights came on and the evening wore on, I think it just became too easy, and the ball was coming on pretty nicely. One shot for me from Heinrich Klaasen stands out off Jofra Archer, standing tall and punching it. So that actually typifies what's gone on with England. So they had nothing, actually. Nothing in store, nothing in the tank.
Zach, barring the 2 wickets of Rickleton and Tristan Stubbs, one of them kept low. There was nothing really else that troubled South Africa. They looked cold, clinical, professional, and this was a no-fuss chase.
Yeah, just about everything going South Africa's way, isn't it? At no stage you felt that England is going to possess any threat to South Africa. It was pretty convincing a game for South Africa, convincing victory for them. It's a perfect tournament so far for them, with one game being washed out, but they're topping the table, and semi-final is something they will be waiting very eagerly now.
Yep. They won one game against Afghanistan batting first. They won this one chasing. Heinrich Klaasen's back in the 11. He scored runs as well. So they've pretty much ticked every box, and they're very much in the zone for the semi-finals.
Yeah, and also when you look at the numbers after the first game, pretty much most of their batters got runs. Now Heinrich Klaasen has got runs. You look at the bowlers, I think Kagiso picked up 3.
Yep.
Maharaj has picked up 2.
Yep.
Mulder has picked up 3, and he picked up 2 for 36 or something like that the other day. So most of their bowlers are also getting amongst wickets. So they're looking like a good side. They're looking like a confident side. And again, they are always a professional unit when it comes to fielding. So it is going to be interesting, given what they've done, given the way they're playing. New Zealand is looking good. It's going to be interesting. Australia, in spite of all the injury concerns and all that, they're also looking good. So the cream has risen to the top so far, you can say that.
Right. For all the India fans that are watching, the team that loses tomorrow, India-New Zealand, will play South Africa in the finals. Whether they'll play in Dubai or in Lahore is something we'll only know at the end of India versus New Zealand. But this big partnership, they were 2 down for about 40 odd on the board, and then came Rassie van der Dussen and Heinrich Klaasen. A partnership of 127 or 122. Zach, can you attribute this partnership to playing clean, common sense, straight bat kind of cricket? They just didn't take any silly risks, and it paid off for them.
Yeah, obviously, when you have a target which is below par and under 200 in this format, with plenty of time, plenty of overs to face, as a batter, you're never going to be stretched. So yes, new ball was going to be that crucial phase. We did touch upon those aspects in our mid-show, and that's how the game was going to go. So even though England managed to take a couple of wickets in that phase, just one partnership sealing the game. You've seen the body language of England team not being there, which was expected.
Yeah.
And South Africa also were well aware of that fact. And just a good, solid batting just keeping up with the game, keeping up with the tempo, and getting the team home was something which Klaasen and Rassie was communicating with each other, and that was very evident.
Right, Klaasen batting at 4, 11 boundaries, no sixes. The only time he tried to hit that 6 is when he lost his wicket, but by then the game was done. It just goes to show that Klaasen knew what gear to hit. He didn't really need to go hammer and tongs in this match at all, given the target wasn't really big.
Yeah, absolutely didn't need to. He came in, you can say, at a tricky stage because 2 wickets had fallen. And again, we'll go back to that. When you're -1 baton, which is Aiden Markram, you need to take that responsibility. The senior batters and the senior players need to take that responsibility. He was the stand-in skipper. There was no Bavuma. The stand-in skipper comes in. He's got a hamstring injury. And it's Henrik Klaasen who has to take the responsibility of seeing his team through. And he's just a wonderful batter. Just the ease with which he batted against everyone.
Yeah.
And I think it tells you a huge story. As Zach said, sometimes when you don't have a huge chase, then that makes things slightly easier. And also one more thing which made things easier was the fact that under lights, the wicket became much better. When you saw what England had to go through and what South Africa had to go through after Ryan Rickleton and Tristan Stubbs, just after they got out, when this partnership was brewing, things started to ease out for them. Given the fact that they're also experienced campaigners, they made sure that there were no more jitters.
Zach, Rassie van der Dussen usually stays away from the spotlight, under the radar, but very much does the job. He's had to wait a long time, Zach, in his career. He's 36 years of age. And in some interview before the tournament, he said this could be, or rather will be, his last ICC tournament. In an era where South Africa had the likes of De Villiers and Faf du Plessis and JP Dominion and Miller, he didn't get his chances, but he's making the most use of the opportunity he's had. And how well did he play today?
Yeah, he's played some really good innings at this level, and someone who, yes, you can say that the opportunity came late in his career, but he has made it count. It's up to the team management as well. I will not be surprised if they continue with him or maybe request him to push it further. Because he's got that ability. He's a solid player. He plays spin well. Can be aggressive against the spin, fast bowling both. And in this format, we've seen that some of the innings which he has played has been really top class innings at this level.
Showed his experience very well. 3 sixes, 6 fours. 36 years of age, about 69 ODIs, an average of 48. He's shown that he's played this game for a long time. It may not have been at the highest level, but he comes in with his software very much in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Hardy and seasoned campaigner. And pretty very simple technique. You can say, yes, might not be the most attractive of batters coming from South Africa, but he keeps it pretty simple. Again, very good player, all-round player.
Yeah.
You can see the way he goes about it. He knows how to stitch together an innings. And that's exactly what he did. You need to have these senior batters around. You can't just do away with every one of them unless and until there's somebody who's out of this world who bursts onto the scene, and then you say, oh, you have to take notice of them or you have to include them. If you are fit, that's what he is. He's extremely fit. Nobody will say that he's 36 years old, feels well, runs hard and bats well.
Henrik Klaasen comes in largely with the reputation of being a big hitter. But Zach, interestingly, the statsman tells me that this is his first ODI half-century without a 6. Just telling the world, reminding the world that he's got more than just the 5th gear in him.
Well, he's a complete player that way, and also you're playing a different format.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not chasing that bigger total. You knew one of your batters may not be batting. The captain was not available because of the injury which he faced. He was not taking the field, so that puts in more responsibility. When you're seeing the other teams stacking up the batting so much, South Africa right now is one team where you have Marco Jansen batting at number 7.
Yeah.
And so you take one batter out. You know that you're just going in with 5 regular batters and then Marco to walk in at 6.
Yeah.
So that is definitely has a role to play in his approach from today's innings.
Yeah.
But he's more than capable batter. He's a class batter in the middle order to be able to absorb pressure if need be, or just take the bowling on if need be.
When you look at, I was looking at some numbers, and I'm not a huge numbers man. Some strike rates in ODI cricket. His strike rate is as good as T20. I think 137 or something like that. And add to that the consistency with which he bats. I think it's just amazing. We're talking about the revival or the new style of the way India are playing. Somebody like a Rohit is in excess of 100. Surya Kumar Yadav is in excess of 100. I think he's beaten by Glenn Maxwell, but I don't know, when you look at the consistency of Glenn Maxwell vis-a-vis Heinrich Klaasen is literally the complete player. And he can literally pulverize. I don't think most of the spinners like bowling to him.
Yeah.
And if you put them on a dead, flat wicket, I don't think most of the spinners want to bowl to him. Yeah. I, for one, if there was a flat wicket, I would have said, please, can you look at somebody? Can someone else bowl to him, please? So he's just a wonderful batter that South Africa have now.
Very crucial for these two to have hung around, because they knew that Aiden Markram was not going to be around. And then you were left with Miller, Mulder and Jansen. So who knows, if these two hadn't done well or if they had gotten out cheaply, maybe England would have had a chance. But just the case of not enough runs on the board. Also that they were aware, Kartik, that barring Jofra Archer and Adil Rashid, there is not much to worry about in this lineup. So they were aware of who has how many overs left.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that must have gone into the equation as well. Saqib is not a bad bowler. He's a pretty handy bowler. He gets wickets for them. But apart from that, as you said, who are the threats? That's something which the batters do work out.
Yeah.
And again, Adil Rashid was brought on slightly late.
Yeah.
I think 15th or 16th over is when he was brought on. By that time, I think Heinrich Klaasen had already reached and had already got a start. I think he'd reached 22 or 23. Yeah. So, yeah, these were the threats. Jofra Archer, mainly, because it was the new ball which would have done something, could have done something. He's got the man with the searing hot pace. Yeah. But again, coming back to everything, in a nutshell, England didn't have enough runs.
The second wicket fell in the 9th over, then the third fell in the 29th over. So there's a long passage of play where England just kept searching for wickets. And once again, Zach, another reminder in this event that good old-fashioned, simple, common-sense cricket is the way to go about things, especially when you're chasing in this format.
Yes, and you can't really look too much into it with regard to today's game, because it was a below par total. That's for one.
Yeah.
Second, England was already eliminated. So the motivation level has been a long tour for them as well before the Champions Trophy, coming to India, playing a series of T20 and then ODIs, following it up with Champions was not easy. They've been on the road for a while.
Yep.
So I think they were a little deflated. Maybe the minds are already back home, thinking about next thing, what should be the plans and all those kind of things. In team sport, these things do happen when you don't have anything, any goal in front of you. Something to look forward to always brings out that energy. You could have seen a different game had it been England's chance of going through. But considering all these factors, once that first 10-12 overs were bowled, after that it was always going to be a tough ask for England to keep their players motivated to make a match out of it.
They did cut to shots of James Anderson and Mark Wood and Paul Collingwood in their dressing room, and things really looked glum and grim and very low on energy. It just didn't look right. The vibe wasn't good.
I think that's what happens, isn't it? When you're not winning as a team, and when you've not been winning as a team, you've... look, touring India is not easy. India, against India right now, the way India is playing, they got annihilated. Yeah. And it was billed as a big-ticket series, marquee series, and understandably so. It's England. We're talking about some wonderful players. And then, as Zach said, they've come to Champions Trophy on the back of a total rout.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be easy. Can you pick yourself up? Are you motivated enough? Whatever game plan you have, whatever decisions you've taken, they've all backfired. They tried to hit India with extreme pace. They thought that, we've got Jofra, Mark Wood, we've got Saqib, Bryden Cast. We will come and hit India with extreme pace. They got blanked out. And that's something which they tried against Australia too. After getting lots of runs, they again went for a few. So some of their game plans haven't worked. Both. Yeah. It's a question of going back to the drawing board. And in the middle of it, there's a captain who's lost faith in himself as a captain.
Yeah.
So it's a tough ask. Yes, sometimes a wounded tiger or a wounded lion is also doubly dangerous, and they were 3 lions. So I thought that maybe to salvage some pride, you could have seen a different game, but unfortunately not so.
Today, yes, they were short on runs. But Zach, could they have done anything different, anything else with this bowling group? They used 5 bowlers. Livingston bowled 3.1. Could they maybe brought on Adil Rashid in the power play attack, maybe try to buy a wicket or two, especially when they had the openers out cheaply?
Well, if I wouldn't look at this game in isolation, but I will just look at the England team and their plans. Maybe if you look at these conditions, if you take consistency in terms of judging a team on condition basis, and you look at the World Cup which was held in India. That World Cup also they had a very bad run. It was a tough World Cup for them. After that, the India series and Champions Trophy. So what they learn from here to be ready for the T20 World Cup, which is going to be held in India, is something which they should look at and create that process which is going to bring them success. So they have a lot of learnings. Yes, in these conditions, the biggest learning for them is when you're having the bowling attack, you don't have enough spinners in that to make the play. So that is one learning I'm sure England must have taken in terms of the batting. They will look at the options which the batters are taking, how to find that balance, how to rotate strike. That is something which is going to be very crucial for them. And if they're able to take that kind of approach, then they will be giving themselves a huge chance. Because when you're looking at this team on paper, all these players are more than capable of making that impact. You've seen the similar kind of players going on to have a huge impact in T20 format, winning in Australia. So it's just about finding that spark. It's just about finding that inspiration within the group, and maybe the new leader is going to bring about that change in this England side for them to have a successful run, because everyone rates them still. You got the goods. It's just about how you're putting it together, how you're utilizing your resources, and getting that confidence back is going to be the journey for this English team.
Yes, the ECB and the coach Brendan McCullum, they're going to be out hunting or shopping for some new pieces in this England ODI or white ball setup. They have the likes of Tom Hartley, and there's Rehan Ahmed as well, who was brought in for the injured Bryden Cast. So they're looking for spin options. They'll have to have a plan B if and when Adil Rashid goes. He's 36 as well. So they've got a lot of questions to answer. But the most important question is, who captains this side? Do you go back to the 34-year-old Joe Root and with a younger deputy, or would you say, let's start everything afresh, go with a younger captain and back him?
Look, it's a tough one. They're in choppy waters right now. You need to get some confidence back in the side. You need to get the confidence of your viewing public, which they come in huge numbers. You look at any test match, you look at any game, county games, the public in England do come and watch. They love their cricket.
Yep.
So it's about that. We've all been talking about this attractive brand of cricket or aggressive brand of cricket, which is all well and good, but ultimately everything needs to translate into winning. So yes, you don't mind going back a bit to come forward. That is what they might have to do, because who are their options? You need to have a look at their team and say, who are the options to look at? Who's an established member of the side who's also got a good head on his shoulders? Yeah. So that is something which Brendan McCullum, Rob Key and the rest of the management have to work out.
Yep.
Whether it's Ben Duckett, if you think he's got a good head on his shoulders, or do you go back to, as you suggested, somebody like a Joe Root, who's an old warhorse. He's been there, done that, has the respect of everybody in the dressing room. Or is it a new guy like Harry Brook? But do you see him as an established member when he himself is searching for runs? Or does that added responsibility mean that he changes the way he plays? So, look, these are thankfully not our concerns, but yeah, they are definitely in choppy waters right now.
Interestingly, at the post-match press conference, one of the things he said was, Zach, he said, Joe Root has been a shining light and a great example for us. After relinquishing his captaincy, he has played brilliantly, and hopefully I can follow in his footsteps as well. So it's a tricky one when a lead player gives up captaincy and scores a lot of runs. ECB clearly find themselves in a tricky spot. Who would you go to?
Well, I think in this scenario and situation, when you're looking at England team, not just doing well in a couple of tournaments, but there is the time which is spent, things have been getting out of hand. So looking at that, I think the experience is something which is going to be very handy for them. Just in the short term, even if it has to be in the short term, that's fine. But I think experience is going to stabilize things. You need clarity of thought. You need that balance. And with that regard, I think Joe Root is someone who they should look at in terms of maybe a short-term solution, but just to stabilize things a little and then start rebuilding from here.
The question, though, is also, is Joe Root part of their T20 plans? Because then you'll have to look for another captain for
white ball
T20.
captain.
And then you're just about 2 years and a bit more away from the ODI World Cup in South Africa. So it's a tricky one.
No, what I'm saying is Joe Root can be part of the T20 format. So that's exactly what my point is. So I think it's time for England cricket where they have to just look at all the other aspects, maybe stabilizing things a little in white ball format, which goes for ODIs and T20. The T20 World Cup being around just maybe 10 months, 12 months away. So you figure things out that way, and that's why I'm saying maybe a short-term solution. But can be a very effective solution if they're looking at it that way. Because Joe Root is someone who is more than capable in making impact in the shorter format as well, and is handy with the ball. So he can have that impact on the game in white ball.
And if he can play the scoop shots and the ram shots and all those crazy shots in red ball cricket, why not T20s? I concur with Zach.
I know what I would do if I was one of them. I would go to Durham and fall at the feet of Ben Stokes and say, please come and play one-day cricket. Come back and play one-day cricket because you're the Test captain. People love you. People respect you. You've got that natural leadership capability and you lead from the front. He leads by example. So, red carpet, please come back.
Red carpet for the white ball team. It has been a colourless performance from England. Jos Buttler, as he bows out of his ODI captaincy role. What else did he say at the end of this game? Well, let's find out. He's spoken about rebuilding. He said time for everyone to go and work hard wherever cricket takes you next. They want to be a part of the rebuild of white ball teams. And he's speaking about players that can put their hand up and say that they want to be part of that rebuilding process. But very quickly, Kartik, before we move on, the road to recovery is going to be long and hard and arduous. And fans, cricketers, all stakeholders will need to be very, very patient.
And also, people need to be on the same page. Look, sometimes the best way to move forward is you realize that you are in some trouble. And I think that is something which has to be addressed. You have to address that with the big problem which is in front of you and accept it. You cannot just bury yourself in the ground and say, no, we don't have a problem. The most important thing to move forward is to accept that you have one. And I think then the stakeholders, people at the helm, people in charge need to be on the same page going forward. Whatever it is, be on the same page and hopefully they make the right decision.
We've got to celebrate South Africa more than we examine or look at what England have done wrong. Zach, for you, South Africa, you reckon they've got all boxes ticked? And who would they rather play in the semis?
Well, I think that's a tricky question. I think they will be looking at the injury bench as well, looking at Aiden Markram's recovery, how it's shaping up, how bad the injury is, and how Temba Bavuma is shaping. So they have those kind of discussions to have before the big one. And based on that, they will be looking at it. I don't think, other than that, they will be looking at making too many changes. Their bowling is looking more than settled. Rickleton is looking good. Rassie van der Dussen looking good. Klaasen got some runs today. So all in all, happy days for South Africa. I think they've ticked all the boxes well. They'll be happy. You look at the net run rate as well. That's usually the reflection of how a team is doing. They've had huge wins and sitting pretty at the top of the table in their group. They'll take a lot of confidence from this going forward. And they've been very consistent in ICC tournaments as well. So this is the new South African team, a very settled, confident cricket team.
Today is Saturday, the 1st of March. If they do play India, it will be on the 4th of March, so 2 days. We're all hoping that Aiden Markram is fit, Temba Bavuma is fine. If they do play against India in Dubai, do you see maybe a Tabraiz Shamsi coming in?
Maybe they have to look at him in a way because things have aided spin in Dubai. And also, if Aiden Markram isn't fit, whom do you bring in? Because that is also another question. Maybe Temba Bavuma fits in and the others can slot right around them. But on a dry track, Tabraiz Shamsi would definitely have a look in.
Right. The last league game of the ICC Champions Trophy 2025, it is India and New Zealand. They will play in Dubai. It's going to be a Sunday. Watching these two teams have done so well. Very quickly, Zach, would it be fair to say that New Zealand have been tested a lot more than India because they were clearly a team that were in a tougher group?
New Zealand might have been tested, but New Zealand is one team which has been testing India. Pretty tough matches we've seen, especially in the ICC tournament. So that's one thing which Indian team would like to change. So this will be a very important game from that aspect. I think Indian team will be looking at some tactics, some tactical play, some understanding, some more learning to carry forward if they have to play them again in few days.
No Bolt, no Saudi. They're also going through some winds of change. But the positive so far, Kartik, in this tournament runs for Will Young, Latham, Rachin Ravindra coming in and hitting that 100 as well. Wickets for Michael Bracewell. Sandner has been among the wickets as well. So lots going right. And India will be not wary, but they will play New Zealand with a lot of respect.
They have to play New Zealand with a lot of respect because we've been just blanked 3-0 in the test matches and they came home and they defeated us. And the most important thing, which I've said before and I don't mind saying it again, they play as we. There is no I there. You interview anybody, they'll always say we. There's no I there. Yeah. And you can see that in the way they go about it. They come from one remote corner. They've had to fight hard for everything. One of the nicest people you can meet. But when it comes to a team effort, they always punch well above their weight in ICC tournaments. And also with Mitchell Santner at the helm, again, one of the nicest guys you can meet. You can see the way they've played. They don't give you an inch in the ground. Yep. They'll field, they'll throw themselves. They're a brilliant fielding unit. And they've got some wonderful batters. And look at the way the two spinners have bowled. One of the most improved bowlers in the last 3-4 years is their skipper, Mitchell Santner, in white ball cricket. Yeah. And people like Will O'Rourke, they've done well. Matt Henry is a wonderful bowler. They've got a great side overall. Will Young batted beautifully. Tom Latham is amongst runs. Kane Williamson, how can you forget Kane Williamson, one of the nicest guys and one of the best batters going around. So the V factor is a strong factor.
The we factor, the Kiwi factor is a big one.
Yeah.
Zach, if Daryl Mitchell does come into the 11, it's a tricky call for the captain as well because Mitchell has been a proven performer in this format. Would you make a change or would you stick to the 11 from the last game?
I think they will. If Daryl Mitchell is fit, then he walks in. He's made enough contributions for New Zealand. So I think they'll have to make way for him. How they will adapt that, what change they'll do, we'll have to wait and see. But I think he walks in if he's fit.
The one box that most Indian fans wanted India to tick was runs from Virat Kohli. 100 from Virat Kohli, 51st in ODI cricket. That completely changes the mood, the complexion, the vibe, the mahal of the Indian group. They've had a long gap as well before this game. So they'll be well rested. They'll be fit. Hopefully Shami is ready to go as well. So India should be ready enough for this battle.
100% they will be. Because see, the team currently, when they play... they want to back themselves in the sense, the reason why I'm saying that is, you want to make winning a habit and you back yourself to do that. I know you've already qualified for your semi-finals, but at the end of the day, you're playing against a team which has just defeated you. You want to get back at them. And also, I personally feel finishing on top is a big feeling. I know you'll be up against Australia if you finish on top, who are brilliant in ICC tournaments, but India need to back themselves as the best side in the competition. Whoever you face, you want to have that win. Get that into your system, get that into your scorecard, get that into that, whatever the column is. What do you call that column? The win column?
The win column?
Yeah, win column, sorry. Win
and you've got to beat the best teams in the world to be
that's what I'm saying. You have to behave like the best player or the best team in the competition. Yeah. And they've been our Achilles heel recently, New Zealand.
Is there room for maybe an experiment or, Zach, would you maybe look at bringing in someone like Varun Chakravarti against New Zealand, maybe rest one or two players? Or do you say, let's not fiddle with the momentum, let's keep it going as is? Is there a case for maybe an Arshdeep Singh to come in?
I think depending on Shami's fitness. if Shami's fitness, there is any bit of doubt if he's going to be available or not for the semis and finals, then this is the opportunity for Arshdeep to get a look in. Because he's been with the team in this format, but has not got a game, and you don't want him directly facing the music in on big occasion like semis or finals.
Yeah.
So I think Indian team will be looking at it from that aspect, and Shami, even if he's fit, you might see Arshdeep taking the playing 11 tomorrow.
Changes for you?
Oof, again, it's all fitness based. I don't think
Assuming everyone's fit.
I would like to go with the same team. I don't know. I am always a believer. Just keep the momentum going. Initially, before the tournament started, I thought maybe they would have gone for the left-handed variety of Arshdeep, but they decided to go with Harshit Rana because they see something different. Use him as a different sort of an entity, as an enforcer in that team. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they go, but they've got 3 handy spinners. They've got 3 good spinners, so you don't want to add another spinner to it and change the balance of the side, because you also want to have those all-rounders who bat so nicely. So the only change would have been Arshdeep for me. But if everybody is fit, Mohammad Shami is coming in after a while. And some of the bowlers, like Zach himself, they loved bowling. They wanted to bowl. They got fitter and better by bowling, not by sitting out or resting. So I think Shami is one of those bowlers as well. If he's fit, he plays.
Lots of names have found their groove as well. So gentlemen, very quickly, one player to watch out for. Zach, we'll go with you first.
Well, tomorrow I think let's go in with Virat Kohli for India. He's going to continue with his. You've seen it with him.
Yeah.
You know, once he's in form, then he's going to bring on. He'll be more free in tomorrow's game. So a player to watch out for from India, it's going to be Virat Kohli for me. A player to watch out for from New Zealand has to be the captain, Santner. I think this is going to be a big challenge for him. Playing against team like India, like I mentioned, maybe they might be meeting again in the finals. So if that is the case, then tomorrow's match will be a dress rehearsal, and from that point of view, Santner will have a big day.
Zach might have just given us the matchup to watch out for as well. Virat Kohli versus Mitchell Santner.
For me, I have 2 different players. I've got Shubman Gill, and the reason why I say that, he's been batting beautifully, and he's the one who sets the tempo for this team right now. Just the way he's gone about things, his composure at the crease, his shot selection, and just the way he's batted, it's just looked beautiful. So he's my man to watch out from India. And the man to watch out from the opposition is Will Young. And the reason why I say that is, on a dry track in Dubai, just the way he played spin in India on turning tracks, I think he's the man to look out for. He's been in good form, good nick. So him against our 3 spinners, I think, is something to watch out for.
Just a reminder for the Kiwi supporters, India beat New Zealand in that 2023 World Cup semi-final at the Wankhede. India had 2 centurions, Shreyas Iyer and Virat Kohli. The 2 in India piled on a ton of runs, 397 I think it was. Another reminder is that I've done pretty all right on that Guezzing game. I got 1 right. Zach and Murali Kartik unfortunately drew a blank in both innings. Let's see if that one good guess has improved my position on that Guezzing game leaderboard or not. I'm still at 3. I'm inching closer to Mr. Bhattacharya, but there's a fair bit of cricket left. The 2 semi-finals, the final, and the game tomorrow. Mr. Kartik, what's up with you, sir?
I'm in the ruins, sir. It started with 100 and it's just going downhill. The wheels have come off.
I think Mr. Khan's luck will change once he lands in India. Your luck works better for you, doesn't it, when you're in the studio with us?
I don't believe in luck. Manish, so it's fine.
All right. I think they heard us wrong.
So wherever I am, I'm happy.
I think they heard us wrong. I think Zaheer said 185, you said 210, and I said 220.
We will have to examine video evidence, and if there is any change, I promise you, we will do an updated show tomorrow morning. Just to tell you,
it was like a blind, na? It was like a blind. So we don't know. We didn't know the pitch.
All of us were blind when we saw
that's what I'm saying. You need to give a 100-run cushion over.
There's something else as well with which we were all blind. Really tough question that Mr. Bhattacharya sent us on Joy Factor. Let's remind you and us what that question was very quickly. Let's bring it up so that we can figure if we got it right or wrong. Right, which is the last instance of a batter being stumped in the first over of a test match innings, and who was the batter? I'm assuming
I think it is Alistair Cook and Ravichandran Ashwin, the bowler.
You're not a good actor, Mr. Kartik.
I didn't know it.
I know
Somebody told me, so that's why I'm behaving like.
I know that a lot of fans send in entries and you just checked your Twitter mentions.
No. I asked you. You told me. So
Okay.
it's fine.
Here we go. Alistair Cook versus Ravi Ashwin.
You told me Kolkata. I was thinking it's Chennai.
No, it was Kolkata because it was, I think 41 needed to win and the captain decided to go with Ashwin, who bowled at the great Alistair Cook and he got the wicket. So there you have it, the answer.
Alistair Cook running at Ashwin in the first over. That's surprising.
Was he? Was that the case? By something.
Stumped.
Yeah, well, true. But who knows? It might have been just the foot behind getting outside.
I've never seen Alistair Cook run down the track to a spinner. I'm trying to figure out.
We shall spend half an hour discussing this. Maybe we'll look up the dismissal. For now, though, let's give you the name of the winner. Just one lucky winner. Bring it up very quickly. Austin Ducona is like a regular यार. ये हर बार इसको जी जाता है ये. सर कुछ हाय हेलो बोल दो उसको.
Hi, hello. It's an interesting handle. At Pant Kohli Bhogle. किसका फैन है वो?
तीनों का
अच्छा तीनों का फैन है. Okay.
तीनों का फैन है सर. और जो इंडिया के फैंस हैं, न्यूजीलैंड के फैंस हैं, make sure you join us at 2 p.m. tomorrow. The very talented Saimi Kher will be in this very chair while I will move to the Hindi studio with two very special experts. Who they are, you shall find out at 2 p.m. tomorrow. For now, thank you very much, Mr. Khan. We hope to see you again soon in the studio, sir.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Kartik.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
There's some dal khichdi that's a right for Mr. Kartik, so he'll have a lonely meal while I run home very quickly. You guys have a great night as well. Make sure you join us at 2 p.m. tomorrow on Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye.